You're listening to the Hello Lovely podcast with Christie Williams, episode 84. Hi, lovely. So glad you're here today. In this week's episode, I'm sharing what it looks like starting something new and how trial and error is a part of it. So let me ask you this. Do you have a desire when you start something new to feel really great about it, do it perfectly, get great feedback from everyone, and then master it right away? That's what we call perfectionism up in here. And that expectation is in itself not a problem. But what I want to encourage you is that when things don't go that way, it doesn't mean that you're a failure. Recently, a mom shared with me some guidance she gave her daughter, and it was just so beautiful. Mom has been applying the tools from the Lovely program as she is a client, and her own self-esteem has grown so much that when a teaching moment came up for her daughter, she shared the most beautiful expressions to help her daughter with perfectionism pains. So here's what she said. Maybe you can tell your brain that I want to do this perfectly, but because I'm a human, I know that I will make a mistake, and that's okay. Even though I make mistakes, I'm still smart, valuable, and I'm still loved. Guys, does that just hit you in the heart? So beautiful. So as we go through an example of what trial and error can look like today, think about applying that loving approach to your own life. I'll share her words again. Maybe you can tell your brain that I want to do this perfectly, but because I'm a human, I know that I will make a mistake, and that's okay. Even though I make mistakes, I'm still smart, valuable, and I'm still loved. So today is a great example because I had a fail today. I did something new and I was prepared, but I didn't get the results I wanted. And there was another person there while I was practicing this new skill. So that tends to add the weight of doing things perfectly when someone else is watching you and they don't value what you're doing. And then they tell you so. Ouch. So I cried immediately when I got off the phone with this person. I cried and I felt so embarrassed by the tears with myself. For a moment, I was so embarrassed by my tears as if they shouldn't be there. So I took this moment to show so much compassion for my experience in that moment, and I just welcomed the tears. I got a tissue, called my bestie, and I wanted to simply express my experience with someone I already trust, someone who already knows me, someone who understands who I am as a person deeply, so there was nothing I needed to explain. She didn't have to make me feel better. She was a safe place to land and let me safely get some tears out. And so, of course, I did. And really, the tears were only there probably for like a minute or two. But it feels like such an overwhelming experience in that moment because that's when your fears come up. You do something new and you feel an emotion that's very uncomfortable, and there happen to be tears. These are fears coming up as if, oh gosh, I knew I couldn't do this, right? Or I messed up, or something to that flavor, right? So of course, in that moment, in my very first attempt today, I was having thoughts like, don't do that again. And you messed that up. And I'm sharing this because I want you guys to know that all success in new things does not have to be seamless and effortless. In fact, many times it's not. There are many times when it is, like when you do something new and you already have a background, talent, or skill in that area. So you do start something new and it does go seamlessly. But what I want you to know are the moments that it doesn't. It's okay to 1, be uncomfortable, 2, be embarrassed, 3, possibly have tears, and 4, have the thought that, whoa, don't do that again, you messed it up. So what I really wanted from this attempt, now that I had made peace with the tears, they came out, we wiped them away, it was totally okay that they had been there, not a problem. I wanted to evaluate my attempt. I wanted to evaluate my efforts. Because when you're doing something new, you're not always going to master it right away, and that's okay. But there is valuable data that is in your attempt that will spur you forward and improve your next attempt. And I wanted that. So I'm going to repeat that again. There is valuable data in your attempt that will spur you forward and improve your next attempt. I wanted that valuable data in the attempt that I had made, even though it didn't go as expected, so I could improve my next attempt. So after a few minutes of releasing those tears and understanding that fear of new things is okay, I did an evaluation. And I wanted to know 3 things. What worked about my attempt, because there were definitely things that worked, even though it didn't feel like it in the thick of trial and error. I wanted to know what didn't work, something that I learned from this experience where I might need improvement, and what I would do differently next time. This evaluation is a tool that we use in the Lovely program, and it's an evaluation that's done from a clean, non-judgy place. It's really like treating an attempt that you had almost like a science project. You're just looking back and being like, okay, these are the results I got. They weren't expected or ideal, but I can use the data in this attempt to see what I need to adjust. So I spent first a lot of time on what worked, on the what worked section. And some of those things that worked were I prepared. I did it even though I was scared. I was kind. I didn't need anything in return. I gave generously. I was willing to be uncomfortable and do it anyway. I prayed, right? All great wins. That's a lot of what worked. Next, I realized I could have been clearer, right? So I looked at like, what didn't work there? What could I improve on? What did I learn in that attempt? And that is, I could have described the topic I was sharing a little more directly and not hesitate so much. Good to know, right? Because there was fear behind it. It was a new attempt. I did have hesitation. So I was able to see that clearly from a non-judgy place. Good to know. And that's all that really didn't work, is that I could have described the topic a little more clearly and not hesitated so much. So in the moments where it feels like you blew it or the whole thing was a failure, you can turn that around and see what actually factually worked or didn't work, and see that what didn't work might have been actually a couple things instead of it being all lumped together as the whole thing was an epic fail, which it can totally feel like in that moment. And this is so fresh into my mind. So I want to convey that it can feel like or seem like a total epic fail. And that's why the evaluation is so helpful, because it'll break that out for you. And lastly, I evaluated what I would do differently next time. And I got 2 juicy pointers. 1, I would clearly define the topic I'm sharing right from the start. I wouldn't be hesitant, right? And I would feel free. I would give myself permission to be more confident about myself. Like, it's okay for me to think in my mind, I love this topic, and be confident on the inside, even if I don't know what the other person's response will be yet. So I can be confident in my approach and feel nervous at the same time. And then after looking at those 3 things, what worked, what didn't work, and what I would do differently, I decided, let's go again. So I got back out there and I did 2 more attempts today. And you know what? There was improvement. Within 1 day, within 1 hour, because I did all of those attempts within 1 hour. Now I feel confident about my next attempts. And I gave myself the thumbs up that if I feel the urge to cry, feel embarrassed, or any of that during the process, that will be okay, because I trust myself to be kind and have a space to land. So how does this example, how does this story hit you? What are your takeaways? My hope is that you feel a renewed spirit towards your efforts, that trial and error can be a part of learning new things for you, and that this is a step in the right direction. You're going to have failures. You're going to have situations you didn't expect. And what may happen is you may cry, and that's okay. Sometimes there's a release of an emotion when we're doing something new, because that's when all our fears come up. And that's okay too. Don't judge your trial and error. Look at it objectively as if it were a science project and keep going. Look at what worked, what didn't work, and what you would do differently. from a non-judgy, clear space, and then decide where you want to put your focus. If it feels important to dwell on the fail part, and I'm using air quotes for the fail part, because each time you're willing to do trial and error, you get better. So you tell me, are you willing to be messy until it's second nature? Decide quitting is not an option, and that's exactly what will happen. And if this resonates with you and you want to take this work deeper and apply it, schedule a program consultation. We'll create the most refreshing schedule you've ever had, and it will include applying the skills we talked about today. Go to MissChristieWilliams.com to schedule. That's MSCHRISTIE Williams.com. Have the best week, lovely, and I'll see you next time.